Empathetic authority, a new type of interpersonal communication theory by me, Lana Watkins. First off, why communication matters in relationships. Teen relationships rely heavily on communication, no matter what kind of relationship it is platonic, romantic, or familial. Miscommunication can often lead to drama, hurt feelings, and misunderstandings. And having the attitude of a leader or having leading qualities can often come off as bossy depending on the type of situation or the way you phrase things. First, what is empathetic authority? Empathetic authority is a new way of communicating where someone leads or supports others with empathy, not control. How it's different from just being in charge or always agreeing. Empathetic authority leads with understanding and care, not just control or power. It's not the same as always agreeing. You can be firm while still being kind and respectful. It builds trust and cooperation by listening to others and considering their thoughts and feelings. What is empathetic authority? Although, what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Although, what is why empathy is so detrimental to empathetic authority? It's the basis of empathetic authority. It allows a leader to truly understand and connect with others' feelings, needs, and perspectives. Instead of using control or fear, a person with empathetic authority builds trust and cooperation by listening, showing care, and responding with understanding. This creates a more respectful, supportive environment where people feel valued and are willing to follow or work together. Why Here there are two graphics. The left-hand side depicting a controlling leader, while the right-hand side is depicting an empathetic leader. The difference in size on the left-hand side shows an unfair power imbalance. Controlling leaders are often pushy, demanding, forceful, and intimidating, stunting collaboration and individual growth. The image on the right-hand side depicts an empathetic leader. It shows a person helping another overcome an obstacle, symbolizing support, compassion, and care, which is exactly what an empathetic leader is. Someone you can go to get help, rather than someone who controls you. Here there are two graphs. What researchers and studies say. What researchers The first study is done by Lorson B. and Collins, done in 2009. It is called Parent-Child and Peer Relationship Influence in Adolescence. This study explains that as teens grow, they get better at handling conflict. And one way they do this is by using empathy. Teens who use empathy are more likely to solve drama and conflicts calmly rather than taking control or hurting others' feelings. This shows that empathetic authority is about leading respect and understanding, rather than taking control and taking advantage of others. The first study is done by According to Pumble.com, 64% of business leaders and 55% of knowledge workers believe that effective communication increases team productivity. What this tells us is that both leaders and workers recognize that communication, one of the bases of empathetic authority theory, are a key to group success. Whether in business or in friendships, feeling heard and understood leads to stronger, more productive dynamics. According to Pumble.com, empathetic authority in action, a real-life scenario to help grasp the concept of empathetic authority. The real-life scenario will be similar to what is happening in this image. A friend comforting another in their time of need while using leadership tactics and empathy. Empathetic. A guy notices that his friend is falling behind in school. He's missing assignments and he's getting close to failing his classes. He walks up to him and says, "Get it together," or "Stop slacking off." Even if this friend meant it as a joke, this kind of comment can make his friend feel worse, like he's failing or not good enough. Instead, his friend could sit down and ask, "Hey, is everything okay? Have you been feeling stressed or unmotivated?" By doing that, he's showing empathy and trying to understand what's really going on. After listening, he can use a leadership tactic and offer support by saying, "You've got this. We can figure it out together." Leading with empathy instead of judgment helps his friend feel supported and motivated, not embarrassed or overwhelmed like he was previously feeling. A guy notices that his friend is. By being a driving force and motivating the friend, there was still a leader in this scenario. Empathetic authority brought in the use of empathy, which possibly drove their friendship closer. By being a driving force, why teens need empathetic authority. It helps avoid conflict and drama, something everyone needs to know how to do. It builds trust and respect in peer relationships. Well, not just peer relationships, but all relationships. It strengthens leadership and communication skills, something that will be very important in teenagers' future endeavors as they grow. They will need to develop leadership skills and communication skills and have them work hand at hand in the workplace. Why teens need empathetic authority. Putting it into action. The theory could be in youth camps or education, introduced in classes related to communication or psychology. It could even be put on educational websites, such as the Annie E. Casey Foundation, which already has a section of their website dedicated to youth development. Psychology Today could most likely include a small section mentioning the empathetic authority theory. Putting it into action. Lastly, empathy makes stronger leaders. Empathetic authority helps teens communicate better, lead effectively, and support each other. Teaching this could improve teen relationships everywhere, improving young leaders. In conclusion, understanding before leading builds trust, and this is just the start. Thank you for listening. This was The Empathetic Authority by me, Lana Watkins. Thank you for listening.